Hello, all, and welcome to another Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday. Yes, this has been a busy one. I think I've got four today, three of which have been focused on space. And today, this one right here, Ares Expedition Crisis, is similar. This is Terraforming Mars. In fact, this is an expansion to Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. I've covered the other expansions that have come out for this game, and I'll put links to them in this video below. But Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition is kind of a simplified version or of sorts to Terraforming Mars. In fact, it's called Terraforming Mars card game, right? The Terraforming Mars card game. Well, Terraforming Mars is mostly a card game, but anyway, Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition takes a lot of the aspects and theme and core concepts of Terraforming Mars and then adds in this phase or role selection on top of it, and kind of streamlines and makes the game play a little bit faster and play quite differently, actually. And so these expansions are starting to kind of draw upon some of the themes and elements that we saw in Terraforming Mars, the base game, and bring them into the Ares Expedition type format. One of the things that Terraforming Mars is one of my top games, probably I don't know, top 10 all time, but definitely space theme games, top 10 if not higher, maybe even top 5. And Ares Expedition is I like that. I like it a lot as well. I haven't played it as much as Terraforming Mars, but I'm starting to like it pretty close. But it does play differently. One of the reasons why I don't get Terraforming Mars to the table enough is expansion creep. They just get expansion after expansion, and I pack it all in the same box, and I don't separate it out, so it just becomes kind of this monolith if you want to pull it out and play, and either play with everything or to part it out. I don't know. It just becomes kind of a pain. Well, I'm hoping that Ares Expedition doesn't turn into that same problem. This is the third expansion to it. So far, I've got everything in this box, and I think this will fit in the box as well. This is laid out a little bit differently, so it's not as cumbersome to pull stuff out as needed. But, with 3 expansions, that's how it starts. That's how it starts. You got to watch. For me, I'm somewhat of a completionist, and so expansion creep can really overwhelm me. And pretty soon I've got this game I love, but I've got everything in it, and it becomes really hard to play, or more complicated to play. But enough of that. Let's look at the back of the box here and see what Ares Expedition Crisis is. This is a brand new game mode that uses the mechanics of the original Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition in a challenging new way. Play it solo or band together with up to 3 friends to work together to save Martian society after a catastrophic asteroid collision has taken out nearly all of your infrastructure. In Crisis mode, the planet is already terraformed. Ooh, okay. So in the other versions of Terraforming Mars and Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, you are terraforming the planet. That's one of the key themes of the game. Here, you're already terraformed, but ongoing fallout from the impact is dropping temperatures, deoxygenating the planet, and freezing over oceans. And there's no time to evacuate the entire global population. You must work fast, completing projects to counteract the ongoing crisis and re-terraforming the planet before it becomes uninhabitable with billions of people still on it. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So you're still kind of terraforming, but you're kind of re-terraforming. So it's kind of a restart. That's interesting. We get a sample of seeing some of the new cards and stuff here. Included are 4 corporation cards. Always gotta love new corporations. That's kind of your starting place. It's your unique or asymmetrical start of resources, and maybe give you a goal to start with or head towards. 10 dummy phase cards, 1 co-op game board, 85 crisis cards, 7 card dividers, and those card dividers kind of help it sort everything out and keep it all in the box. So that's kind of nice. 1 crisis board, 16 crisis counters, and 3 detriment tokens. So it'll be interesting to see if I can fit everything back in the box. But this is what this looks like is bringing to the table is a whole new game mode where you have this. You're starting off at a terraform planet that's under crisis, and so you're re-terraforming. So that's interesting. So let's get into the box and see what all that looks like. And if any of you have already played this expansion, love to know your thoughts on it. Is it good, bad, or ugly? And what do you think about it? So pull it out. It's kind of a dump. Ooh, got some baggies in there. Can't lose everything in there. Okay, so I got my baggies. I've got rules here. And quite a few more rules in this than some of the other expansions. So it looks like we got 8 pages. It's not a huge book, so it's not that overwhelming. Here's the contents you get here. Here's your setup. Here's gameplay, how it's different with the crisis. You have a crisis step now, it looks like. You have crisis cards that you have to kind of check on. And I wonder if this crisis card's kind of like a AI that's kind of doing stuff on the planet, and you're trying to catch up with that. Draw a card from the dummy hand. Planning step, resolve phases, and then you get end of game. So there are the rules. You've got some tokens to punch out here. Good thick stock here. Double-sided. Those don't look good. Those look bad. I mean, bad effects. Here we've got some new tiles for the planet. Oh, boy, those come out pretty quick. I just almost poked it right out there. Now, this is a thick board here. This is the VP bank. So this is for the crisis game alone. It tells you some of the crisis steps here. Then we've got a new board here. I wonder how this matches up with the old board. Oh, that's interesting. So you've got half the planet there. I wonder how that fits over the overlay. Interesting. Good thick board there, similar to what's in the base game. We have the card dividers. So you got 7 of those. Now we get into the new cards. That's the main thing we get in here, or have in here. Do a little pre-rip here and see what we have. Well, that looks good. That does not look good. So let's go in a little bit tighter here so you get a little bit better view of these cards. So these must be new corporation cards here. And all the cards are the same. There's a little bit of a textured finish to it. They look nice. So those are your new corporations right there. And it looks like they have effect with crisis, so you might want to use these with the with this crisis. At least these two with the crisis expansion here. This talks about crisis mode too. This talks about crisis mode. So yeah, so I think these are special corporations for the crisis play. Here's it. This is dealing with the crisis game. You have a play rate here, your turn order, and your during play. Got 4 of those. Crisis dummy cards. This is a new thing here. So these are the different phases of the game. And these are kind of like action selections, these are like the role selections or phase selections where you get to use that ability, and then everybody gets to use that ability, then whoever picked it gets to use the bonus ability on it. Interesting. So I wonder how these dummy cards... Oh, so here. So we got dummy cards That's interesting. So you got 5 phase cards for the dummy hand, and then you have a new solo mode phase cards that are dual-sided, or you flip them. That's interesting. Got to see how that plays out. Then we got some new cards here. These look like crisis cards. How many of those did they say we get in here? Look at the back of the box here. Looks like we get 85 crisis cards. So there's 85 of these cards. You can tell from the asteroid hit here. So this is interesting. So this is a totally new way to play. This is not from the original Terraforming Mars. This is a whole new thing just for Ares Expedition. Interesting. So we got 85 of those. So we got a whole deck here as well. Wow. Now that print's pretty small there. I'm gonna have to get my readers on for that. So this brings a whole new gameplay to Terraformer. This is actually like a whole separate game, it looks like. Interesting. So there you have it. That's what you get in a box of Ares Expedition Crisis, which is a whole kind of new way to play Ares Expedition. At least it looks that way. Again, if any of you have played this, love to know what you think about it, your thoughts on it. Is this how does this play, and what is it like? So pull out there, see what some of the stuff looks like there. Anyway, that's what you get in a box of Ares Expedition. Love to know your thoughts on it, or Terraforming Mars in general, or in any of the expansions. Again, I'll put links to what I've done so far on those in the description. Thank you so much for stopping by on this Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday. It's been a busy Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday, but a good one. Hopefully I've introduced you to some new stuff out there. Love to know your thoughts on any of it. And thanks for stopping by. Take care. Okay, let's do a little bit of bonus footage. Let's see how it all fit back in the box. So I have all 3 expansions in the core box here. So you have the, this is how I put it in. Your mileage may vary. Here's the Crisis board that came from Crisis in this expansion. These are some tracks that came from the previous expansion. You got the base boards, and then you got 2 indented boards from one of the expansions. Then I have the rule books here. There's Foundations, Discovery, and Crisis. Those are the 3 expansions. That was the core rule book on top. And then you have a quick start guide. Then you have the 2 boards, the original board, and then this is the board, the co-op board that came in Crisis. And it has an alternative back. It looked like it was half, but it has the same spaces. It's got 9 spaces. So I think that might just be an alternate way to do it. All the cards fit in here with their dividers here. So I have the phases and upgraded phases and corporations, all the project cards. They have the 5-player project cards, some special project cards, dummy cards, crisis cards, and this is all that goes in the Crisis. Then all the counters fit in here. And then I have the couple of boxes that we got. I can't remember which expansion those came in, but I have a couple of the trays for the better pieces there. So there you have it. It all fits back in the box. Thanks all. Thanks for watching.